Welcome back, you guys, to the Beyond the Wrestling Gear podcast. I'm here with AJay Harrison, the KCC Heavyweight Champion, on the show. Welcome, AJay.
Thank you. Thank you. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, brother. It's been quite a bit since I've done a wrestling podcast in a little bit, so I've been just focusing on, you know, posting other content, keeping up with the wrestling product, whether indie or professional, and just having a good time.
It's definitely changed since back in the day, huh?
Oh yeah, definitely. Now there's a lot less blood involved. A lot less. It's a lot. It's more family and safety oriented now, for the most part. I mean, it depends on the company because AEW is completely. They're more towards the edgier side of wrestling. ECW and things like that. So yeah, how about you, man? Like, I know you're the KCC Heavyweight Champion, so tell me a little bit about how you kind of got into the wrestling business, your inspirations, and about yourself.
I've been a wrestling fan since I was 3, and I'm 34 now, so it's talking like 30 years there. But no, I just, been a lifelong fan, always something I wanted, and diehard fan too. Like if you told me back then like wrestling was fake or scripted or anything, I wasn't gonna hear that. I would literally fight you for it.
You know, I was
And
gonna,
so go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say, I was looking at your profile. I'm like, you look unrecognizable, man. It looks like you went through a journey yourself there recently.
And I suppose it depends on what profile you're looking at. 'Cause I was 283 pounds at one time,
Yeah,
and I'm only 5'6", so heavy boy. Been through some ups, some downs. Don't really talk too much about it, but my firstborn, I lost him at the day shy of 3 months old. So, that definitely has been a toll on my wife and I. And so we just, we have 2 others now, and we
awesome.
focus on them, and never forget, his memory, and we move forward. And
That's awesome.
I don't like this whole concept, and people try to say it to me all the time, "Oh, it gets easier over time."
Yeah,
It never
yeah.
it never gets easier.
It
It
never
gets
does.
At best it gets more manageable. But after that, I really honed in on just for him and his
Good
memory,
for you.
putting in the effort, putting in the work to better myself and lose the weight. And I mean, right now
Awesome.
I'm not happy. I'm at 186.
Wow.
But I mean, I've made it so far down to my goal weight, which is between 175 and 180. So I've been kind of slacking. I got sick here about a week or so ago. It took so much out of me, and now it's just trying to get back into my
Yeah.
routine and things like
Awesome.
that. But
Yeah, so
yeah, I mean,
apologies. I didn't mean to intrude there. I meant to ask you about.
no, no, you're good. I mean, I'd rather somebody come and talk to me about it than
Yeah,
be shy or just like not. I'm very open, and I'm not one of these new age sensitives, right? I'm not gonna be offended by somebody's question or like. Don't tiptoe. If that's probably the quickest way to offend me is to try to protect my feelings and oh well, I really don't want to bring it up because it's a sore subject. I'm one of those old school guys, right? I'll tell you like it is, and if you don't like it, I'm sorry. I'm not one to pussyfoot around it. I'm going to tell you like it is, and that's it.
good for you.
I don't like this new sensitivity of the world, where it's like, oh
Right.
my gosh, you called me an asshole, and now I got to do something to my feelings. Dude, you're a fairy if you're doing all that. No, I got better shit to do with my time than to
Right.
cry over spilt milk.
So you've been so back to the wrestling. I apologize.
No,
So
no,
you've
you're
been-
good. You're good.
you've been a fan since you were very young, right? You mentioned.
Yeah. And I mean, yeah, so just kind of self-taught, just a lot of studying, and not to really brag or anything, but my fighting IQ and just wrestling is so off the charts because I study. And I don't think I've ever watched a wrestling match or an MMA fight as a fan. I've always watched it as a studier and just watching how things work and always taking something from it. And that is just, I mean, I even surprised myself. So yeah, just doing that and applying it, it's made me a better, not only a better person, it's made me a better fighter, a better wrestler. And I mean, of course, I was my first favorite wrestler that really got me into just kind of the love of everything was Ken Shamrock. And
Oh yeah, the world's most dangerous man. I love him. I
I
love him.
never knew at the time. I never knew he was a mixed martial artist. I thought he was just a wrestler and that was his style. I not a clue that he was an MMA fighter.
If you really want to study his career, look up the fight between him and Royce Gracie, early UFC days.
That
Great fight.
very
Great
intense
fight.
rivalry there too.
And Tito Ortiz and him, man.
Yeah. But no, so I mean, outside of that, just like I said, studying that, and then I've had the privilege of growing up with siblings, so we'd go in the backyard and jump on the trampoline and wrestle on the trampoline and things like that. And then once I started to get more of the, oh excuse me, more of the MMA stuff, right? I've sat and always wondered, it'd be so cool to kind of see the mix of the two. Excuse me again, and to see kind of what a promotion would like that would be. So fast forward here, and how KCC got started. I'm actually really good relationship with the owner of KCC, King's Choice Combat. This is a promotion that is in its baby phase yet. So, I mean, it allows all types of combat sports and wrestling, amateur wrestling, sumo, you name it, as long as it's, a type of combat. I mean, it's got it in there. And it also has allowed for a new type of style, which is virtual reality boxing.
Interesting.
And so that's, I mean, and that is more or less for those who don't have the means to travel and face their opponents, because I mean, let's face it, to get a freaking plane ticket, I mean, it's going to cost you a lot. And
Right.
plus, like I said, certain circumstances, it's not fair to, the fighters and, things like that. So it's a bit of a progress, but yeah, it's something that seems to work and people seem to enjoy it. But so I mean, I'm more heavily in the virtual reality. I got two kids here at home that need my attention. I mean, of course, I always am willing, if I have the opportunity to go out there and fight. Hey, I'm all for it. Somebody I'll throw them around. But I also like the convenience of the VR boxing of it. So yeah, that's how I ended up actually winning this, and they sent it.
Awesome.
And I tell you, it's different. It's interesting. I'm actually a really good relationship with Chubby Dudley, ECW original, and I actually call him Uncle Bay. That's how good my relationship is with him. And even he
Awesome.
said that just the concept with it sounds so intense. And I tell you, yeah, I've had fun with it. I've absolutely had a blast. It ain't going nowhere. Just because I'm 34, I've had people sit there and kind of dog on my age. Oh, you're old. If it was this and that, it's like age is a state of mind. You know,
I mean,
I don't.
I could definitely say, in regards to age, you're definitely never too old. I mean, look at, for example, DDP. He literally made it into the wrestling business at 35, and he became a Hall of Famer.
He had a lengthy career there too. Multiple
Mm-hmm.
time world champion. I mean, WCW, WWE, and he succeeded in both of those. So yeah, I'm not ready to slow down. I don't know if I'll ever be ready to slow down. It's just as long as I keep my body healthy, I have to be one of those. A doctor has to really push for me to be like, yeah, you can't do it anymore. 'Cause I don't think I would ever retire on my own accord or by my own choice.
Going back to ECW, do you think you would have thrived in the early '90s ECW, or would you have gone towards like more GCW or just traditional wrestling?
If I had a preference, I think I would have made it in ECW. Given the opportunity, I mean, I was born in 1990s. Given if I was in that era, where I was in that age group and I was able to do something, yeah, I really think just because I have that smash mouth in your face, no nonsense, I'm gonna whoop your ass, and you step in front of me, I'm going to hurt you. And I've always had that mindset, whether it comes to, fighting and wrestling. I'd be your best friend in the world. We could be as tight as, Velcro, or you know what I mean. We would be as close as a zipped up jacket, whatever you want to refer to, flies on shit, glue on paper. But once you challenge me, or once you accept the challenge and we step in there, relationships all aside, and to me, you are a stranger, and I'm coming in as I'm fixing to get hurt, and I'm going to hurt you before you hurt me. I'll sit here and talk shit all day long because I know what I'm capable of. It's up to you to prove me wrong. I'm the champ for a reason. So
Hey, you're stating facts. Stating
I
facts.
try. I
People,
try.
some people say it's a promo, but sometimes it's actually facts. You're saying, you know?
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah. So I mean, a lot of my inspiration has come from those same types of workers. Like I said, Ken Shamrock, and even I've even drawn more influence and inspiration from even newer wrestlers. MJF from AEW. I love his promo work. I love just how he does things. So I will always take little aspects of people. He actually said in an interview, is probably the most true statement I've ever heard in my life. If you are not watching everything, and I mean literally everything, you're not a true student of the game. And that's what I try to do. I'm not one that will pick a side. WWE is better than AEW. I watch all of it. And if UFC is on, I'll watch it. Bare knuckle fighting, sure. Let me sit down and watch it, because I don't come in studying it as I don't watch it as a fan. I watch it as an analyzer, and I will analyze and see what I can do to get better,
Yeah, and that's how it should be. And I've watched a lot of different YouTube channels, especially I don't know if you heard of David Huffman, but he breaks down
Yes.
what his time was like in the wrestling business. He said that when he used to wrestle back in the WWF, it was pivotal for everybody to stay throughout every show the entire time, stay in the back, watch the show, because it was so important to study the material, because that's how you can improve.
And it's one of those things, if as a wrestler or as a fighter, if you say that you don't watch other people's fights and you don't watch other people's matches, you're a liar. You're a liar, because you can't. I mean, sure, there are those that don't watch their own, matches. I'm very hit or miss with my own. I mean, there has to be one that I really like on my own fights, and I'll sit back and I'll watch. But to watch other people's fights, that's where I study, and that's where I will look back. I have my own personal favorite fights, even in the, VR boxing, on my YouTube channel, where you'll see a lot of that. I will go back and, just out of curiosity, whether it's, complete domination or just that was a really good fight, I'll go back and I'll watch it just to kind of study and see what I did right. There's other fights where I'll sit back and be like, okay, what did I do wrong, and where can I improve there? So, there's so many different aspects, behind it. It's not just, we show up, we throw hands, and then that's it. It's all about studying, and it doesn't matter how big you are, it doesn't matter how strong you are. If you don't have the IQ for it, you ain't gonna last at all.
Not only that, but it's more of the mentality, and like you mentioned earlier, if you don't stay and study wrestlers matches, it's not just a lying, it's more of like the respect for the business. If you don't stay for the whole show, if you don't stay for those events alongside who you work with, you do not respect the business. Simple as that, especially with the veterans.
Speaking of veterans, one of my favorite veterans, believe it or not, is Kevin Nash, and his kind of mentality behind it. So you can either make friends or you can make money when it comes to the business. Just I mean, I've had personal beefs with people, sit there and flapping at the lips, and nothing comes of it. And there was one specific beef that I was able to, I believe, just kind of squash and be done with it. And it happened to be, because when I go on the VR, and there's just, I'm not scheduled for anything. Excuse me. I'll go in and I'll click quick match, or, what I would consider an open challenge. And I'll sit there and I'll wait for somebody to jump in, just because I get excited. I'm autistic. There are times where I cannot
Interesting.
slow my brain down, and I'm literally on the move. You would think I'm worse than a freaking toddler because of just go 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 go. Once I crash out though, that's it. But yeah, and I happened to come across this guy, kind of the same name as the one, as the guy I had beef with. So I'm gonna consider it as that guy because there's never been, I've never seen another person with that fight name. And we went in there. I beat him, no surprise. And that was the end of it. And now he won't answer my messages. It's like I want to whoop your ass again, just for the fun of it. So I mean, with the wins, I've also had my ass handed to me. I mean, not only in the VR boxing, but also in real life. I try to be humble. So, I mean, I get asked, are you a heel or are you a face? I'm a tweener. That's something that I didn't talk about very often. My real life, what you see on screen, what you get out of me is is me for real. I am very much, I mean, what you see is what you get. I'm a real life walking gimmick, if you will. I live it, I breathe it. I am me. I bring the real me on screen and in my matches. I don't even have to turn it up that far. And you get authentic out of me. And it's not because, I want to try to act like I'm somebody. And it's not because I think I can't portray a character. I would rather be loved for who I am. Or no, I'm sorry. I would rather be hated for who I am than loved for someone I'm not. You did what you did with me, and if you don't like it, then hey, I'll just keep going about my life doing me. And that's it.
I mean that's just you, and it's like with MJF. MJF is MJF, whether he's outside of the ring or in the ring. John Cena, this last run he's had so far, and I'm gonna be honest with you, this is my opinion. It's been abysmal. It's been terrible. It's been awful. He's forcing himself to be a heel. He's not a heel. You're a complete face in the ring, but I get it. Outside of the ring, when that little show you did, Total Divas or whatever the heck it is, it comes off as an asshole. Like, where's that Cena? Like, bring it to the ring.
I love the reason that he gave for his heel turn. That makes sense. The reason behind the heel turn makes sense. I just think he's been a face for so long. It's hard for him. After every match the fans chant, "Thank you, Cena, thank you, Cena." And you can see it on his face that I mean, virtually it's tearing him apart to be a heel. I have kind of mixed feelings about this last run. It's nice to see him heel. I was expecting a little, I don't know, something different.
I did too.
So I mean, you're talking 20 plus years as a face, and then but I mean, again, to give that reason, and he used real life reasons for the heel turn. Because I mean, you see in these videos all the time. Respect, for instance, if it's only common courtesy, you see one of us, whether you're in a restaurant, shopping, whatever it is, don't record without permission. I mean, come on now. I mean, you want a picture? Hey, great. Sure. Autograph? Hey, yeah, absolutely. You want a video? I mean, as long as you're respectful and you're asking, that's fine. But to come up and just very rudely think that you got some, uh, claim because you're in public, but then you want us to be nice to you. That's not how that works.
I agree. No, if you want people, if you wanna have a good experience with anywhere, with a convention, a show. I mean, just recently, I don't know if you saw Saraya on Twitter, but she posted that somebody was there. She was at a convention, and some idiot decided to try and kiss her.
Yeah. And now she, I mean, that idiot ruined it for everybody else because now she's limited it to just handshakes. And I get it. It's these fans, they have no. And look, I understand. These fans, they may mean well. And I understand the excitement and everything, but still, there is a certain level of privacy and just respect that goes into it. You can't just, come brush up like that. The moment you cross a certain line, it's like when a fan jumps the guardrail and gets in the ring, but then turns around and gets so upset and wants to try to sue the company for, that wrestler or fighter, that puts their hands on the fan. Look, you came into our domain. Once you cross that line, you now become the target. And any case that I have seen, I have never seen a case where they sided with the fan who stepped over. It's always been on the wrestler or the fighter's side. So,
Right.
I mean, look, again, you cross a certain boundary, you're asking for, you're asking to get hurt.
I mean, if you're one of those fans that goes into the ring and tries to get a wrestler, and I'm gonna say this boldly, but you deserve to get your ass whooped. Simple as that.
It's just like, I mean, if you pay to come sit and watch the show, come and have a good time. If you're fixing to try to get yourself into trouble, keep your ass home. Or just go off and train and try to do it the right way. But to come in, excuse me, and get your, I don't even want to say 15 minutes of fame. Some of these people, I mean, a lot of these people, they don't even get the 15. But to come in and get your maybe 2 or 3 minutes of fame, is it really worth risking your life, your health, and just your overall being? I don't think so.
For you, who are some of your dream opponents? Do you have anybody in mind that you'd like to face in the
Dream
ring or
opponent?
virtually? Could be anybody, indies or professional.
So, and I appreciate and I love how you kind of threw both aspects in there. I do have some dream opponents. One of those being, and actually we kind of touched on the specific subject, on the last show that I was on. We had talked about the Mike Tyson Jake Paul fight.
Oh yeah, atrocious.
But you know what though? Before I answer your question, I have to give respect to Jake Paul. And it's because, look, if I don't care how it gets done. If you have an opportunity, whether it's rigged, predetermined, or it really happened, anytime that you're able to get an official win on your record over Mike Tyson, I can't blame Jake Paul for rigging that fight and getting that on his record, because honestly, I would do the same thing. I don't care what you know what I mean. The fans paid to come see it. They knew what was going to happen. They came to pretty much just to have something to bitch about. But
Right.
I mean, again, that, and to kind of put it on me here, that's going on my record. At the end of the day, I wouldn't lose any sleep over it. So, look, I mean, y'all keep getting mad at Jake Paul for what happened. And, I mean, you can't tell me that if you had an opportunity to get a win, a guaranteed win over Mike Tyson, officially on the record, name one person that would tell me that they would not take that opportunity. But yet y'all are gonna get after Jake Paul for doing the exact same thing that you guys would do. Maybe there's some wholesome people out there that would try to do it the right way, and I commend them for it. But also at the same time, I understand. That doesn't make the fight a 5-star, boxing match. It doesn't make it, the greatest thing out there. I understand it. I wish it was a bit more convincing, to say the least, if that's fair. But dream opponents, I mean, Mike Tyson would be one. I'll wait until he gets older, though. Yeah. I mean, there are a few that I wish were still around. Inspirations. Eddie Guerrero.
Yeah, Eddie.
I would have loved to been able to work something like that. Yes, absolutely. All-time
Yeah.
favorite wrestler. Another one just because of his creativity, Bray Wyatt.
There.
My son that was just born a month ago is named after Bray Wyatt.
Wow.
Yep. But to really, I mean, kind of, and I'll even go into the whole fighting world too. Conor McGregor. He's one that I've drawn inspiration from, but I would love to be able to get in there and kind of do something with, whether it's real or virtual. I don't care either way. To be able to get that on my resume, But also at the same time, I don't want to say I'm content. I'm never ever content, and it's because the moment you become content and you are satisfied and you stop being hungry is the moment shit goes downhill. I stay hungry and I always want more. When it comes to championships, is this going to be my first and only one? It's definitely not my first. Is it going to be my only one? Probably not. I should be happy with maybe another one on this shoulder. But as long as I got fights coming up, I mean, come on, that's me though. I love to fight, and I want to do it as long as I can until my body tells me that I can't do it no more. And because of that, I stay so hungry. And if I can rack up the accolades and the resume, I'm gonna do it all now before it's like, all right, I can't do it no more.
How do you get into the mindset of fighting? Like, for what I'm asking is, like, if you're going into a match, how do you prepare yourself mentally to go into that zone?
So I've always struggled with my temper. I mean, to share a story, in the fourth grade, I'll never forget this guy. His name is Travis. Talk about the 4th grade. I'm 34 now. It tells you how far back we go. He looked at me, and I don't know if he even looked at me or just my general direction. I don't know if that day I was just, I didn't like the way he looked. Maybe it was I didn't like the way God made him. I don't know. I tell you what, I tell you, I was a fucking asshole. I mean, I was the epitome of being an asshole. Nobody liked me. Not very many people do now, but that's besides the point. But I mean, he just, I didn't like his face, and I made sure he knew. I'm gonna see you after school. Bell rings, going down to the buses. I kept my word. I pinned him up against the wall, and I just boom, boom. I laid in those body shots. Kudos to him because he ate those shots like a freaking champ. And I dropped him. And I didn't say that. I just walked away and I left. I often wonder when I talk about this story. I often wonder what happened to him and how he's doing. But now I'm more laid back. I'm more controlled. I still have a nasty temper, but excuse me, but the fuse has lengthened quite a bit. So, there's, posts, people say, well, you don't know how to fight if you do X, Y, and Z, or if you're loud and you're tempering this and that. For me, when I go into a fight, for me, it's like a switch. And I was talking about this yesterday. It's very much, it's different, right? I mean, if you get into a spontaneous fight with somebody and it's all out brawl, you're not thinking. You're just, it's very much survival. A scheduled fight is more, what you're getting into. For me, it's all about, like I said, it's confidence. So I know what I'm capable of doing. I don't know what that person is capable of doing. So when I go in there, my goal is to win. And because of that, I put myself in a mindset that is so controlled and just so, what's what I'm looking for, but like a computer. And because I know what I'm looking for those openings, I am in my zone. And so I will, yeah, it's like I become a computer and I start to analyze things. It's all about fight or flight. I don't know if you heard of that, but
Yes.
you either have it or you don't. I understand when it comes to situations, some fighting situations are out of our control. You don't have to fight. But for a fighter's mentality, you either have it or you don't. Believe it or not, I don't like to get hit in the face. But at the same time, that's like saying, well, I'm not afraid of nothing. It doesn't matter who you are, you're going to be afraid of something. We just don't talk about it. So, I go in there with, I don't even want to say game plan. I go in there and I wait. And I see what happens. I know my end goal. How that happens, I don't care how it gets there. I don't care how I get to the end result as long as I lock it down and I do what I say I'm going to do, or I'm able to accomplish what I set out to do. So yeah, for me, it's just more or less ambition, I guess. I mean, there's so many different aspects. I really wouldn't say I have a game plan, right? It just because I've been so enthralled with it and I have that mentality. To me, it comes like it comes like a switch. It's like, all right, I got this coming up. Now it's on. And after I'm in that zone, it's like tunnel vision. I'm locked in, and that's all I'm thinking about.
Good stuff, man. I like that, and this is what I like. I also like personal stories. Like we're kind of incorporating that and how that kind of got you into the zone psychologically. For you, when you travel, what are some things that you have to have, like your must-haves that you carry with you?
I mean, besides just the essentials,
The essentials, yeah. Do you have something that you carry with you that you're like, I need to have this with me at all times? It'll keep me calm. Something that'll help you. Anything like that.
ironically enough, I do have something that's coming in the mail shortly because I happen to see it and now I have to have it. And I'm not one, like, here's the thing. I know people may make fun of me. I don't care. I got, like I said, people are who they are. I'm not gonna let people's opinions
Yeah.
bother me. The one thing that I got coming in the mail, it's a breathable stitch. I
Oh,
love,
I've seen that. That's
yeah,
really the one that has like a little heart thing that you click on it.
yeah, it breathes, and
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, I am very much a kid at heart. I mean, my wife will often say, it's like I got 4 children because she includes me in there. That would be, of course, when it gets here, that's going to be my must-have, and it's just because it brings me a sense of comfort. I have, very high anxiety when, yeah, I don't do well with crowds. I'm very much, I want my space. Like even when I go into Walmart. I have to be with somebody I know, because if not, just my goal is to go in and get out, and that's it. So I mean, but I mean that's of course with that coming previously, as long as I have that person, whether it's my wife or somebody that I'm close to, a family member, close friend, then I'm fine. But outside of that, an absolute must have my phone. My phone, my iPad, something that I can be on, whether it's social media, YouTube. You can't take the electronics away from me. I gotta have something, because it doesn't matter where I travel. I mean, you could put me in the freaking Bahamas, you could put me wherever, somewhere in there. Night's gonna roll around, we're gonna wind down, and yes, I watch TV, but also at the same time, sometimes it's just background noise, because I'd rather, be on my phone and doing different things on there. So yeah, one of my absolute must-haves, my phone and or iPad. If I don't have that, it would drive me nuts. And I don't think I would be able to enjoy the vacation if I didn't have some type of electronic device like that.
So, speaking about Stitch, are you a big fan of the Disney movies?
That depends. That depends,
Depends.
because I understand. I'll take the Little Mermaid for instance. I am a true believer. Leave it alone. Leave. Don't be coming in and just trying to make stuff. And I understand they're trying to make it universal with casting. Different people as the main character. That's fine. I get it, and I know I understand it. But at the same time, I don't agree with it, because you are taking something that's so ingrained, right? That's been around for so long, and you're completely flipping it into the opposite. That's like, see if I can bring an equivalent here. That would be like the Lion King. That would be like replacing Mufasa and making a reboot of the Lion King and making Scar as the good guy and Mufasa's bad guy. It doesn't make sense. And here's the thing: by no means, personal preference aside, I'm not one. I'm not gonna judge anybody. I don't like to judge.
Yeah.
I know what I like, and I know what bothers me. Right? I know my values, as I should say. Just what I believe in may not be everybody's cup of tea. I'm not gonna shove my religion, my preferences down anybody else's throat. I just ask for the same respect.
Right.
It's one of those things, like, yeah, I mean, it depends on the context. My wife is a huge Tinkerbell fan. So, I've sat and I've watched them. I've gotten to like Tinkerbell myself. Full blown Disney, though, I wouldn't say I'm like, diehard fan
You're
of
right.
it. But I will say the two, I mean, diehards, when it comes to being a diehard fan, Stitch, and here's where I get a lot of people that argue with me about it. And this is one argue, pick your battles. I know for some reason I choose to fight this battle all the time. Baby Yoda. And people will argue with me. It's not Baby Yoda, it's Grogu. Listen, motherfuckers, it's Baby Yoda. All right.
Yes, yes.
So,
Thank you. I agree with you. Finally, somebody makes some sense.
yes.
Thank you.
So it's one of those things, like, yeah, I mean, those are my two diehards. I mean, I've been waiting to watch it just came out, the new live action Stitch. I wish I had my own little version of a real life Stitch. I'm more of a Marvel and DC guy. So more or less like the superheroes, that's more my type. And I'm not even a superhero guy. I'm more of the villain guy. You know, um I had an old friend, we don't no longer really associate. I asked him, I said, if you could compare me to any, and just can't see my shirt, but I'm wearing the Punisher.
Interesting. Yeah, I see it.
So, but I asked him, I said, if you could, this guy knows me, knows me very well. I asked him, I said, if you could compare my real life personality to any Marvel or DC character, villain or hero, but all into the same universe. If you could compare me to any of them, who would it be? And he named three: the Joker, the Kingpin, and Lex Luthor. And that melted my heart. That did my heart so good, because ironically, and he never knew this, but I love Lex Luthor and the Kingpin, two of my favorite heroes. I also love Carnage. Do I like Venom? Yeah, but not as much as I like Carnage. Yeah, I mean, that's just my inspiration when and just watching things like that. I mean, I watched Smallville. I don't know if you've seen that with the old Tom
But
Welling.
yeah, that's old school.
Oh yeah, that was my favorite, and the only reason I watched it was because of Lex Luthor. I don't agree with what they do, right? But I understand why the villain is the villain and how they turn. People think it's cookie cutter. He's the bad guy. Everything he does is wrong. There's always a backstory as to how they became the villain.
Right.
And maybe it's because I'm so understanding as to why. I can't see the superhero as this all for justice, clean cookie cutter, perfect person. That's not how that works.
Yeah, well, I appreciate you sharing that with me. Like, it's pretty awesome. Like, I've always taken pride in making every guest and everything. I don't judge. You talk about what you want to talk about. It's about you. You know,
Appreciate
about
it.
your feelings, and as far as like your career now, do you see yourself wanting to go into like the major, any major companies or promotions like the UFC, AW?
If given the opportunity, there's one fighter that I can't stand. So if I ever had the opportunity, I would love to get in there and just whoop his ass. Josh Koscheck. The dude has never done a thing wrong to me. We don't know each other. If you were to bring up my name to him, he'd be like, "Who the fuck is that?" I don't like him. And again, I reference the fourth grade incident. Something about Josh Koscheck and his face. I don't like his face. I don't like the way. Just I don't like his personality. I don't like anything about him. I don't. He just irritates me. So if I ever had the opportunity to jump into the UFC to face, that would be my number one opponent. If I got to join any promotion though, like big leagues like that, I mean, I would, as much as I would love to say WWE, I just think they're just too.
Family oriented, very
Well, no, yeah, not only
yeah,
that though, they don't give you as much
creative control.
freedoms. I mean, yeah, it'd be nice to do it in passing, but honestly, I think I would be more towards TNA. I've always liked TNA, their wrestling, their match types, their uniqueness. So yeah, either TNA or I would even dabble into the AEW. AEW would be more, I guess, realistic, and I really wouldn't even say that. My brother works for a factory that Tony Khan's father owns.
Interesting.
I mean, if I really wanted to make that stretch, my brother would probably tell me, "Oh, I don't talk to him like that, so nothing's gonna happen." But it's that connection, right? So I mean, the least I can do is at least bring it up to my brother and say, "Hey, can you put in a word for me?" If he says no, it's like, all right, at least I have a way to ask, you know.
Right.
But maybe I think I would be more open to now that Triple H is in charge and The Rock and TKO. But yeah, just for me, that's something I personally, like I said, unless it was, through the working relationship that they currently have with TNA, I don't think I would be a WWE type guy. I just think everything with Vince McMahon and all that, I just think they got too much bad publicity on them,
Yeah.
and I'm trying to, keep my name clean, I guess.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's all you can do. You want to market yourself as clean as possible and not have any baggage behind it. So
Yeah.
I agree.
Kudos to WWE. They're knocking it out of the park. They're trying to right the wrongs that, it's been coming out. For me, I think there's better options. And it's all about business, right? At the end of the day, I can't go in and make a business decision based on me being a fan of the product.
I agree, man. Hey, so it's been a real pleasure having you on today, man. So
Well, thank you
where
for having me.
where
Absolutely.
where can my listeners find you? Communicate with you, see your content.
Yeah, so I'm over on Instagram. I'm on TikTok. You can catch me over on YouTube. Jay Harrison 33. And actually, what I can do if you want is I will after after we go off here, I will send you the links
Yeah, totally.
to all my stuff. But yeah, if y'all want to, please come follow, subscribe, and unless I'm at a convention or I'm sitting there and I have to pay for a table, at an event, if y'all hit my inbox and you guys want autographs and things like that, as long as you cover the shipping, for the postage stamp, autographs are free. I will send them out to you as long as you cover the postage for it to go out. Outside of that, I'm not going to charge somebody for a signature. I know that there are, whether there's celebrities or, superstars, fighters, that will literally charge an arm and a leg just for the
Yeah.
signature. I'm not going to do that. If you cover the shipping and make it easy for me, have at it. You guys got things you see, you want to print off your favorite photo, or even tell me, hey, can I get that photo? Absolutely, I'll send it out as long as you cover the shipping. I got you.
Awesome, man.
Yeah, I will send those links after we jump off here. And if anybody wants to touch me, I'm more active on TikTok, or I'm sorry, I'm more active on Instagram. So I mean, you're more opted to find me there, Facebook Messenger even. But yeah, AJay Harrison, like you see here on the screen, AJay, and there you have it.
Awesome, brother. Well, thank you so much. As always, guys, we don't just we don't just go beyond wrestling. We don't just talk about wrestling, but we go beyond it. Thank you, AJ. Appreciate you, brother.
I appreciate you as well. Thank you, and hopefully we get a chance to do this again.
Definitely, I had a good time.
Me too. Thank you. It's been an honor, a privilege, and it's been a pleasure. And I'm so excited. And I appreciate you for letting me come on here and just chat it up anytime.